Just keep him as a pet. Get him high.
I had a science teacher when I was younger that literally had roaches as pets.
Really?
I didn't let her touch me.
Yeah, fuck that. I
didn't let her touch me.
Watch it start to be.
I would fucking freak out. I'll run.
Jack's like, yeah.
Oh, like this shit on
Jack's
fire.
gonna fucking chew it.
Yeah, like that shit.
I'm gonna grab my phone.
Yo.
Move up.
What the fuck is up, sewer sessions?
Oh,
What up?
what is up?
Just rolling mad blunts.
Yeah, get ready.
Yeah.
How you guys doing today?
This tree is hella purple.
Pretty good. A little hungover from yesterday.
I feel that. Yeah, definitely.
tired.
Last night was-
Yeah, I feel that.
Fun ass night.
Yeah, last night was wild.
Did you guys have like a favorite setup last night?
I enjoyed Zabor's.
Zabor? Oh, the ID set?
That set was
I wanted to see some of that. My
Yeah.
favorite, the
Executioner.
Executioner. That was
That was sick.
insane.
Executioner had some like really, really sick music.
I heard a lot of people talking about you guys. Yeah. It was dope.
Hell yeah. I
The
had a
venue's
really
beautiful too. We don't have like really big venues like that in Florida. Everything's
the
pretty.
Ritz in Tampa.
Well, that's it. Like when Miami space is big, but it's not.
Space
Belasco
is
big.
big.
Not Belasco big.
So there's venues, but just not as big.
Yeah, it's more like more intimate.
More underground.
Very
Or not
underground.
necessarily.
Like a big thing right now in Florida is they love doing like little bar shows and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
Real intimate, like 150 or
You'll
less
be at a
crowds.
biker bar playing fucking dubstep.
It's awesome. Like so almost house party vibes, pretty much.
Is
Pretty
it
cool.
growing out there, the scene? Or is it still kind of like that?
It's
Small,
very like regional. Like the mid area of Florida, Orlando, Tampa is really big with the bass scene right now, and like down in Miami, it's consistent. It's just all it is techno that's thriving nonstop there. It always will. And then the bass scene is it's hit or miss. It's you gotta be mainstream like Sudden Death right now or Borgo or somebody huge like that just to be able to like pull a crowd down in Miami. And what else? Jacksonville's actually blowing up the scene now too. And
Jacksonville. Up north. I've never been though.
So where are you guys from specifically?
Originally from New York, from Queens, and pretty much at like 17, my parents were like, we're moving from New York to Florida. I went to Orlando, which is like right where Disney World's at. Lived there for like a year. Went back to New York after that. The scene was really trash when I was 18. Like, it wasn't trash. It was just a very different taste. It was like all Moonbaton, which I loved, but I wasn't really producing, and I was like trying to push dubstep as hard as I can. So I left, went back to New York. That's when I was like starting to play Basement Saturdays, Webster Hall. That was really cool, and the scene was great up there, but rest in peace, Webster. And the scene's building up again now, but it was a bit weird. And then I moved back to Orlando, and the scene is, like he said, it's growing. It's very much like a bass scene. Like anything goes down there.
oh, they love like right now. Huge popping in South Florida is like the left field bass. They
Like
really
the
keep that
experimental
stuff.
bass stuff.
That's pretty much like the main thing in Florida. Like Florida,
Kind of like freeform bass stuff.
exactly like Liquid Strange, all the Wakan stuff, all that. Yeah, kids freak over that.
You guys are into that too.
I fuck with everything.
I love it. I love everything. Past it, or actually, I said, but yeah. Honestly, like I don't have a type of music besides country that I don't like. But I'll listen to honestly everything.
That's a lie.
All right, yeah, I'll listen to a little country
Right.
sometimes.
All right, so before we do anything else, we're going to do a little intro for you guys. We already called you guys out as sewer sessions, but we are here with Rampage and Symbiotic.
Hello.
What's good, guys?
That's good. Pleasure being here.
Yeah.
I love LA. It's my favorite place.
This is honestly like just the most perfect place.
We get way too high and belligerent.
Yeah, smoking fucking Jungle Boys weed. They'll definitely do that.
100%. And it's also just out here, it's especially back home, you can't go out to a show and have all your producer homies out here and just people you can connect with and like.
Yeah, there's not that
relate with.
many producers, honestly, on the East Coast, especially in Florida. There's, as dubstep goes, there's maybe like 4 or 5 kids. But out here, it's like everyone's out here. So.
How'd you guys meet?
Well, I've been a fan. He's been like my biggest inspiration for like the past 4 years. I've known Sewer Sessions for years. It was like one of the first underground dubstep. It was a radio podcast that I first discovered, and he started that years ago. And he's just been my biggest inspiration. He's always been putting on the underground people. And
the same
known
way
him
I
for-
met Cod is the same way I met him. He booked me for a show, and one thing led to another, and I'm hanging out with him and
did
texting
like
him all the time.
we have a thing called Miami Music Week up in Miami, down in Miami every March, and it's just like they throw a show every day for 7 days straight, and I do like a little cheap underground show, and I brought him out the headline, and then we just pretty much connected after that.
And it's been love ever since.
Yeah, we became brothers instantly.
So music, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
Definitely
Music and a lot of weed.
lots of weed, and we just relate on almost everything.
So what else do you guys do besides music? Just fuck around.
I skate a lot. I still skate a lot. I play a lot of Xbox.
What do you play?
Oof. I started playing a lot of Gears again. I'm playing a bunch of Rocket League, but when Red Dead and Fallout 76 comes out, it's over.
Yeah, Red Dead.
And Fallout
Like
comes
about
out
next
too, I'm like gonna be like a little RPG kid. Like I'm totally role playing.
You been into gaming for a while?
Yeah, that was pretty much my outlet for the longest time until I was DJing for. I'm 25. I'm gonna be 25 in December, so we'll just say I'm 25. I started DJing when I was around 12, and I always liked it, but never got really into it. I was huge into like fucking video games, huge into it. When I started producing, I was like, oh shit, I can kind of like put video game sounds together. And then I started learning how to make the video game sounds, and that was just like a match made in heaven. So kind of like went back to music all the time, but other than that, skating a fuck ton.
And me, I just like, honestly, music is what I do 24/7, and outside of that is work 24/7. So it's just work, music, and that's pretty much my whole life at the moment. Music's my biggest passion, and I just want to do it. It keeps making me happy.
What about like growing up? Like what got you guys to where you guys are today?
Yeah, what was like your introduction like to music in general?
To like dubstep or just?
I mean,
Or
How do you end
Yeah.
up listening to dubstep? You know?
All right.
Alright.
You want to go first? You go
Mine's
first.
short, so I'll
Go first.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've always been into music, whatever, but like, my main music growing up was like classic rock, heavy metal, and that was just like my influence growing up. My dad put me onto that. Like my first concert was Megadeth, and that's all I listened to growing up. And around getting into high school, I met this kid who's known as Mystic Grizzly now, and we connected in high school, and he introduced me to like the old Excision and Dasik, like the old Pioneer stuff, and we would just beatbox, dubstep, and we'd burn CDs and listen to that together, and that was way back in 2013, and then 2013 is when I got into dubstep around there. Yours is gonna be a lot longer. What's your story?
The way I got into like music, my parents are very musical. It's a very musical family. So my dad always DJ'd as a hobby. And for me, pretty much I did a lot of other things with music. I danced professionally for 10 years. I did tap and jazz and hip hop, all types of shit like that. I did that for about 8 to 10 years. And I just stopped because I was just producing a shit ton more. But for music-wise, introducing myself, like I said, my parents are very musical, so I'm always like hearing new shit. It was just like either 90s freestyle, like in New York, where it's like the really crazy, like kind of Latin dance, or you're hearing like 90s boom bap rap. So that's what I grew up on. And I found dubstep because this kid named I Live Undead, his name's Dylan in Canada. I met this kid online on Xbox, and he's like, yo, you should like mix dubstep. I know you mix hip hop, but you should mix some dubstep. I listened to like Rusko's Hammer Time and was like, all right, this is pretty sick. And then I heard the Shambhala 2009 mix from Excision, and I was like, no holds barred. I was ready to go. I was like, this is really fucking cool. So that's like the really shortened version of how I got into dubstep. And music in general.
With your parents like having done music, that was obviously a big influence. Is that kind of what you already knew going in? You were gonna do something with that?
Low key, I thought I was gonna be like I wanted to like do movies and shit. So I was like
Acting and stuff.
Like editing and doing all the sound design that way. I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. And I was doing mixing that way. And I broke my camera when I was skating. I used to like film kids, and I broke my camera and I was like, fuck this, I'm never doing that. And I started music as more like just a way to kind of like cope against it. Like, ah, shit, I'm not doing anything. And it kind of led from like a little hobby to like full-blown ass like job, which is the greatest thing in the world.
So you almost kind of like fell into it, not on accident, but you know, you kind of just
It was
walked
all
into
meant
it.
to be.
Yeah.
All meant to be.
How's New York? I mean, I guess you can just compare it to here, but how would you compare it from here to New York?
I'm a city boy till I die, so like I'll always say New York's my favorite place.
Yeah.
I'll talk shit about it and be like, I fucking hate it, it's hot and humid and all that shit, but like people even tell me like I don't shut the fuck up about it. Like I'll always love New York. It's kind of like a part of me.
Yeah.
Growing up, it wasn't like that hard, but you know, living in Queens, like you still deal with like certain things like that. So that's why I just went to skating so I wouldn't deal with trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I even knew kids that were like making music for their skate videos, so that also kind of like led me to like, oh, I should learn how to like make music.
There's great music scene out there in general.
Oh,
Isn't like the New York scene recently had died for a while? Now they're bringing it back.
well, electronic music died a little bit because of Webster Hall dying, but like I was like a little ass kid trying to go to like MF Doom concerts and
Yeah,
like
because if you
fucking.
were doing the hip hop stuff, like that's
I was seeing DMC. Rest in peace, like Rock Rado, when he died, he had this whole entire memorial show happen in it was in the BB King's in Times Square, and it was like A-Track, Qbert, Craze, all types of like turntablists. Like I would see all types of shows like that, and they still do crazy shit like that in New York. But for dance music now, you know, house is always gonna rule and it'll always be crazy. But for dubstep, it's slowly rising again out there.
So what do you guys got going on with music?
Music wise, right now we just announced we got our Sewer Sessions tour coming up this winter. It starts middle of November, and
Middle November, and
we got like a bunch
probably
of music
like
done for that. Bunch of new music.
we've been
right
getting a
there.
bunch of like dates pushing where we originally were thinking we were gonna end it. So as long as it lasts, if it lasts that long, we'll keep it going.
How many have you guys done?
I've done like tours.
Yeah, or was Sewer Sessions?
I've done my first Sewer Sessions tour. It was me, Cod, and Ranga, and that was like 2 years ago. Then I did the Trenchmouth tour with Sweet Tooth, and now I'm doing the second Sewer Sessions tour with him. I think this is like your first.
This is my
official
first
tour.
like actual tour. Like,
Yeah,
How's touring?
I
Tour life?
I love it. I'll always cherish it, but like a lot of people don't notice that like you'll burn the fuck out if you're like not even
Okay,
partying
mental
too much,
health,
but from the
mental
traveling to like it's very exhausting. And not many people be like, oh, you're living the life. Like, why the fuck are you complaining? But it can be very like emotionally tiring to you.
Yeah.
It's very tiring.
Seems like a lot of airport time, a lot of just like
it's just the worst ones. Like when you
A
get
lot of
shows, you
expensive
play a show.
airport food.
Like 5 a.m. flights right after a show really mess you up. You get no sleep. Straight to the airport right after a show. You're still a little.
And I like feel like scum. I'm like sitting next to this person. I smell like cigs and like the club.
Smell
I
like
smell
straight
like
from an event.
show.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like shit. This lady's probably judging me. She's like this fucking delinquent. Like, ugh, smells, and like I'll probably be in the middle seat on top of that. Like ugh, I can't do it. I'd rather take the like really late next day flights like at midnight.
Yeah, the flight over here from Florida, that's a pretty serious flight.
Oh yeah, especially on Spirit, it's
Yeah.
even more brutal.
I'm kind of
What,
used to it now.
5 hours straight.
After
flight.
I did Australia, I will never complain about a domestic flight ever.
How long was the
All right,
flight there?
the first time I did that, I went from Florida to Boston to fucking Dubai. Sat in Dubai for 12 hours. That was like, it's really cool, but it's like culture shock up there. You're just like, whoa, this is totally fucking different. And then from Dubai, I had to go to Brisbane, and that was like 38 hours in total.
Jeez.
Yeah. After that, I'll never complain about life ever again. Like, oh, cool, going to Cali, fine. Paris wasn't even that bad. It was like 12 hours.
Did a
What?
Paris flight wasn't bad.
Australia, oh my
Well, 38 hours sounds like ridiculous.
Yeah, the longest I've been on a plane is 6, and I was like, damn,
Yeah,
I can't do anything longer than this.
God. That.
once you reach like 3.5, it's like damn. All right.
You like slept a little bit too, and you wake up and you're just like, oh, it's only been like 2 fucking hours. Like, I have still so much time on this flight.
It's
You're
so hard to
reading
fall
the
asleep on a
infomercials
plane.
and you get so bored. You're like, oh, what is this
all the
magazine really
turbulence.
about?
Once you hit a bump,
Yeah,
it's like
for
you're
real.
up again.
Just those little seats, bro. Like, you don't have room. Like,
Just gotta pop a bar, go to bed.
Either that or Benadryl or anything to pass you out.
Right.
That was me for the longest time because I have really bad allergies. I would just pop like 3 Benadryl, go on the plane, pass out, totally fine.
what were you calling it? Like,
I call it fast traveling. Oh, when you pretty much like you pass out right before your flight goes up, it's like a loading screen. You knock out, you wake up in a different city. It's totally like Skyrim or some shit like that.
That's
Like, oh shit, I'm in a totally different place.
Oh, I know.
All right, so how did sewer sessions come together?
Oh my god. So
He's the OG.
I made sewer sessions as. Alright, so back in the day, that was like when Doubles was doing his Savage Wonk mixes. I was like, I want to do something like that, make my own series with my own name. I was making fun of like Getter's Trench, and like everybody was like, oh, there's Trench, there was Fridge back in the day with Invictus, and there was like random shit like. So I said, oh, I'm just gonna make sewer music, it's trash anyway, right? One thing led to another. I'm making the first mix, totally fine. I released it. Cool. The second mix I'm making, it was supposed to be, like I said, just my mix series. Doing it, I'm like, this is kind of like the same thing almost, just a little bit different. Kind of said, fuck it. I had around like 8,000, 9,000 followers at the time, so I was like, I would rather help my boys. So I brought Rango with me. He only had like a couple thousand followers. Threw his mix on. He's one of my favorite DJs. He's like low-key super good. He just doesn't get enough like props about it. He killed his mix, and then COD Dubs only lived 2 hours away from me, and Rango only lived 30 minutes away from me, so we would always hang out. COD was the third mix, and then Jesse only lived a couple hours away, Subtronics, and he was the fourth mix. And pretty much every homie that I knew that was really close and like was really sick at their production and really good at DJing, threw them on, and the joke led to a totally awesome fucking.
Got long back.
I don't even know what to say. It's like it is totally like crazy ass like joke. Like how it went from like, oh, I'm making this as like a totally laughing matter to like it's like one of my favorite things I've ever thought of ever. And till this day, like thank God for that shit.
what do you think makes it so like unique for you? Like the fact that you get to like do something music with your homies, or how do you look at it?
I feel like we stand out because we actually give a good platform for people who don't have the ability to like push themselves, or
Like there's a hella kids out there that
there's so much
we're
underground
friends
talent.
with that do not get pushed. There's like people like Warned and Guru, there's Packback, there's kids like that there's still a couple thousand, but there's all these big name dudes playing their music. So why not just push them?
Exactly.
It's kind of like I remember Ominous tweeted this a long time ago, like if you're playing all this person's music, why don't you just book that person instead?
Mm-hmm.
Why not just push that person? There's so many kids that are really slept on. So I'd rather, that's what, it's like the good, unique feeling for me. I'd rather just push my homies and push my friends. And at the end of the day, it's an organic like reach. It's not like I'm going everywhere and being like repost. Like if you feel it and you enjoy it, you like it, you support it, and it keeps going. And it's been like honestly like the craziest trip. How it went from dubstep to like RIDDIM stuff, and like there's just totally different like varieties of dubstep on it. So the taste on it is like really wide spectrum. So I feel like people enjoy that too.
Who's somebody you guys think is like underrated, like you were saying?
Ranga,
So many Ranga especially.
Neonics,
Neonics. He's starting to like finally get his recognition, but
Calcium's starting to get it too. Calcium was
Yeah.
like he's super good.
When you guys look at an artist, do you guys look at the whole picture, or are you guys looking for more production?
I look at everything.
everything.
Cause like, there's kids that are like not as good DJs, but they have such great production. But if they still do like a decent mix, like people are gonna enjoy the hell out of that. And if there's like some really good DJs that have great song selections and they have great edits and great like tracks they've made too, like it's all just like if they all make cool shit, and why not support it? It's only been slow now with the mixes for the past like 2-3 months because we're like setting up tour. We're setting up like a website, merch, all types of new things. But we got like Shivers is coming up.
Yep.
And I have someone else. I was probably going to get Pack back to try to do one. But kids like that.
Nice. Where are you guys going on tour?
Yeah, right now there's.
The only one announced so far, we're gonna announce our dates in a week or two, I believe. But the one announced we got is our first stop in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and that's November,
That's the day before Thanksgiving.
day before Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. But like in about a week or two, we're probably going to release the like, tour flyer.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys handle all of your own work, all your media work, all the posters, all the.
Pretty much it's all in
stuff.
house.
Yeah.
All my like me, him, my manager is like a friend of ours anyway,
I'm
so
manager Gavin over here.
it's all pretty much in house stuff. So that's also the cool thing. We're able to control it and have like we're able to really control how it looks and how it feels.
Yeah, keeping it like genuine to yourselves and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Not having to like do labels and all that. You know.
I've dealt with labels before, and like labels have like pushed me to the side too, and it got to a point where it was like, if people are following me, why not just like self-release? So that's the next step for me. I have like 4 or 5 EPs worth of music that's just I'm sitting on, so I'm probably gonna do like next year like 2 EPs, and I'm doing Roly Poly VIP that's coming out like in 2 weeks. So
Insane.
I'm doing like a lot more releasing next year for Sewer Sessions.
Exactly. We're gonna use the platform as well. Like not only like release mixes as well, but also start giving a platform for people to like release music as well. Like we're really pushing like people get the misconception that Sewer Sessions is a group of people or like a duo, me and Manny, or a trio, but that's not what it is. It's a brand and label, and that's what we're trying to like eventually really shape it into be. Like we want to be like how what is it?
You ever seen how like Fool's Gold is for house
Yeah,
music, and there's like Soul Selection for like that type of music? Sewer Sessions would be that for dubstep.
Yeah.
But see good.
Would you guys ever think about throwing, or yeah, I guess just like a Sewer Sessions show?
Eventually.
Yeah.
I've
Like-
thought about it, or like one day like helping a festival curate a stage. That would be really
That's
cool.
what I said. Like
Yeah,
a
that'd be
takeover
dope.
and us bring out, invite, put people on. That'd
That'd
be
be
huge
really
dream.
cool. To help curate a stage. That would be the shit.
Yeah, like Lost Lands, the Sewer Session stage.
Yeah. So what would be the goal? The goal for you guys?
Probably like help curate a stage, and then from there like it's a really long shot, but like hey, dreams can always happen. So like from doing curated stage, like I would love to like make Sewer Sessions like a huge brand enough that like we can push people out. Maybe one day have a festival. Who knows? Like we're still really fucking young. I'm only been
We are young.
25. He's a baby. So
Especially with all of your guys' connections, though, especially in the music game, like you guys can reach out to a lot of people and just put something really sick together.
hell yeah, it's a lot of planning, but if you do the planning right, you can do something really fucking cool.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah,
You think you're gonna make the move out here to LA?
eventually.
Yeah. Because I know we had talked about that, and you said you at some
Eventually.
point, right?
It's just like the
Yeah.
finances, like they need to be right because you don't want to like it's I know you get the hype, you want to come out here right away, but
I don't want to jump into something.
Jump into it and end up
totally
like on
fuck
Skid Row
myself.
in a month or something like that. And come out here and comfy, chilling for a little bit.
That I'm still like my family. Like I'd rather like hang out with them. My mom's getting a little sick, so I'd rather just like chill with my mom and dad for a bit.
Yeah.
Before I come out.
Yeah,
here.
and that's the whole other side of the country too.
Yeah.
So that's wild.
My mom and dad would be like, "Yo, what the fuck's up?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Every couple seconds calling me. I'm their only child, so they'll be all day on my ass. Hey,
Yeah.
talk to me. FaceTime me.
So, what music wise, like, do you have a lot of music too? I'm gonna say he has like 4 or 5 EPs worth.
See, he's like constantly busting out music. I unfortunately like I'm on my own situation. I'm working like 90 hours a week, and I'm in the process of moving into my own place. And I barely have time to be like working on music. I do on the side, and I'm trying to work and find my own sound. He's years ago distinguished his own sound, like the real sewer trench sound, going around like everybody can sound like anybody, but like the hardest part is finding your own sound. Like you listen to somebody's song and you're like, oh shit, like I hear that's his sound, and that's a process. Like it's trial and error, and I'm still trying to find that right now. That's basically where I'm at right now.
How did you find it?
I have no idea.
You just kind of put it together one day? You're
I
this
mean,
is-
like, I always liked the kind of growly, like, aspect of dubstep, but one thing a lot of kids forget, what is EDM? What does all this stand? Electronic dance music. At the end of the day, if you can't dance to it, what's the fucking point? And I feel like a lot of kids sometimes miss that aspect, especially in dubstep. So I feel like having like a bit of like a really gritty sound, but like still like really dancey and flowy works. It's kind of like how Bad Clad did it, and Requake back in the day would do shit like that too. All like really heavy flow. Subject 31's really good at it too, and Recoil. They're all like really good at their like dancing, like, really gritty sound.
Do you feel like your dance background kind of helped?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Kind of know.
Like I know, like if I'm not dancing in my seat or like grooving to it, like even for a little bit, I'm gonna probably scrap it. Like I have to like at least bob to it, or like it has to make me kind of like definitely groove. Cause I mean, like yeah, like there's songs that are like super sick and there's quarter notes and stuff, but like if you really can't dance to it and you're DJing and you stand up there and you're just doing that, it's kind of like boring as hell
Yeah.
too. So if I'm ready to dance to it and it's fucking hyping me up, it's gonna also hype up the crowd. So that would be also the best way to do it.
Is that how you guys put like sets together?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Hype versus not hype.
Try to like get everything, like also like getting a little bit
Yeah.
incorporating deep in your set, bring that in, just giving everybody time to cool down a little bit, but like
I like
going
a lot of rap and
hype
shit,
24/7.
A lot of rap. I play a
Rap.
lot of trap here and there. That shit was fun back in the day. I don't care.
Yeah.
Floshadamus and like
Yeah, for
all that shit back, like even Moombahton with like Moonchi and shit. That was all the way back in the day. I love that shit and still do. So
Play good music pretty much.
I still want to one day like. I wish kids were more accepting to it, but like if you were to play like Moombahton and drum and bass in the middle of your set or like the end of it, kids drum and bass out here they kind of vibe with it. You play that shit in Florida, like deuces, I'm leaving the club, goodbye. Like kids will walk out.
Yeah, I feel like right now, even here too, a little bit. Like
Oh.
if you're playing rhythm, like people are coming for the rhythm. You know what I mean? Like
And that's what kind of scares me. It's like I'll play rap because people love that shit, but like
Yeah.
I want to get like sometimes really into deep shit. Like there's old Akira that's really sick. I have some old deep shit that like I keep on the lock. That like I'm kind of self-conscious. Like it's whatever. It's kind of deep, whatever. I want to do that shit, but a lot of kids are not. I wouldn't say open-minded. I just feel like you said, if they're coming for rhythm and like dubstep, that's all they want to
Yeah.
hear. Especially if they're like, oh, sewer sessions, like I better expect like hard-hitting shit. And if I play like Sam Gillatry, they'll look at me and be like, what the fuck? I played Fly Low one time, like kids looked at me so weird. Just like, what the fuck is this?
all right, so tour coming up. You guys got some new music on the way.
A lot
Anything
of
else?
music.
Anything up and coming?
Mostly that coming up.
Merch. There's a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
we are
new merch
definitely
coming
You guys
out.
working on your
Merch
website, you said?
Yeah. Gonna have merch on there. We're also gonna have like our contacts for booking and shit like there. What else are we doing?
I'm not sure we got the tour, merch, new music coming up.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of new music. Cause like I said, I'm sitting on a lot of it. I'm
This
kind of
whole year
like,
is literally insane. It's just like
I'm kind of like, fuck it. I can see that like self-releasing is like really, you can do it now.
Yeah.
Like back like 2-3 years ago, like I didn't know how to do distributions and shit like that. I was just a kid. So now I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm ready to go head first. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and then there's definitely like a lot more platforms for like independent artists to release their own shit.
Oh yeah.
What are you guys the biggest on? What platform? SoundCloud.
biggest platform.
Yeah, Facebook.
Probably SoundCloud and my Twitter. Twitter, like, I'm always on that shit every day. Like, I just keep responding to it. My Facebook, I'm horrible
It's
at
also different. Like if you're going anywhere outside the U.S., Facebook is the biggest platform.
it. Yeah, I'd go to Australia. I'm like, yo, follow me on Twitter, and they'd be like, I just made a Twitter to follow you. Like, I don't use this shit at all. They're crazy. Like, it's only like Facebook. And I'm like, yo, look at this. Twitter's so much like easier. And they're just like, no, cunt. This is not what we're doing. I'm like, okay. Always Facebook. Snapchat's really big in other countries. I'm getting tired of it. My phone's like an iPhone.
for real.
I have a 6 Plus. I like turn on Snapchat and my phone fucking turns off. So I'm just cool with that. Instagram, but I'd say SoundCloud and my Twitter is my biggest.
What are you at on SoundCloud right now?
The last time I checked, it was like at 16.4
What's that? 16K.
or 16.4K, I think. 16.4K. I know my Instagram is like something like 3,000 or 4,000. My Twitter is at like 67, some random number. It's in 6,000. My Twitter just pops off all the time, so I just use it. Facebook, I'll like post like the coolest shit. Nothing. I'll post like the shittiest
reach is
meme.
hard.
Everyone
You
online
gotta
like
kind of like catch the wave, and
Yeah.
if you catch it, it kind of goes. But
And you gotta always
Definitely
post like media shit, videos, photos, and if you're not doing that consistently, like Facebook will just be like, yeah, this isn't Twitter. Put you on the bottom. It's so fucked.
Yeah, what do you guys use to like market yourselves besides social media?
Microsoft,
The merch helps a lot.
merch.
I be walking around and kids are like, yo, that's a sick ass shirt. What is that? I've had like people, my dad wears my fucking merch all the time everywhere. And people, like, goes like tattoo shops and shit. He'd be walking around hospitals and people are like, what the fuck is that? So word of mouth is still like pretty big, surprisingly. Like, so
Stickers
the merch
are a
helps.
huge thing.
I have old
Stickers and handmade,
stickers.
that's
Yeah.
the best thing.
Yeah, speaking of stickers, I think I might have one in my pocket.
Yeah, this kid pulled.
See, and I messed up with
the.
the great thing to do would be get your stickers and then right under have like your SoundCloud link or something like
yeah,
that.
that's that's what we
That's
same
really
exact thing with
smart.
us. We just didn't put that link.
No, you go slap those around downtown. People walking by to see that.
Yeah, I
you know,
got a
they
bunch
get
of, like,
bored.
photos
Search you
there
up on
and shit.
SoundCloud.
That's actually helped me a lot. Like my old stickers, my old Symbiotic stickers are like all plastered at Webster. People are seeing that. District 9 still has one of my old stickers from like 4 years ago.
That
Still
Philly, right?
on the in the Coca-Cola like freezer, totally plastered on there. It's like, so that's actually helped me too. Like old stickers I placed in like old venues I played, like Skyway in Minneapolis. People be like, oh shit, I haven't seen that, and they'll see like, oh, Sewer Sessions, that's an old ass sticker, because it's like my old logo.
So what happened with Webster? Like, why did that
Webster
end up
got
dying
bought
down?
out. Sadly, I forgot.
It was like the most iconic.
I
venue
forgot what was the
ever.
actual company that bought it. It'll come to my head eventually. But
It's like it's still a venue, but it's just not the basement.
they're
anymore.
renovating the like whole venue, but it's not gonna be like dance music and shit anymore. They kind of made it so it's gonna be like really big artists, like the people that book Jay-Z and stuff like that. I mean, you'll still see some bass events there, but it'll be like Skrillex,
Bigger
and
names, yeah.
Excision, things like that. And nothing like in basement where like you will see like Ranga and Cod and I like back in the day, like young as shit, like making this shit, and you won't see that anymore at Webster. That's the really shitty thing. At Webster, you would like before Basement Saturdays, there was always like heavy metal rock shows and shit like that. Or Odd Future played one time like right before Basement even started, so like kids would like hang out there and they'll hear bass music come on, And they'll like literally walk out the door and right back in. So Webster was really cool, but now that it's gone, there's not really that many places like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, is that what that was kind of like? Yeah, like you said, it kind of just.
It was a
destroyed the scene.
smorgasbord of like talent wherever the fuck you went. I mean, you would go. I remember for the VMAs at Webster, there's like Katy Perry's walking around Webster, just hanging out at Basement Saturdays, and just like you would see anyone there. So it was like you always saw talent, and you always saw up and coming talent there too.
Uh-huh.
And
Well, where was like? Was it in the city?
yeah, right in the middle of
Yeah.
Manhattan.
So I feel like everybody from the East Coast able to kind
What
of.
was it, East 13th or East 11th Street, between 2nd and 3rd. Yeah, somewhere around there. I miss that place. Good old memories. I've puked on stage the first time there. So nervous after work. I used to work at Apple, work like 9-hour shifts. Went there from work. Gotta play. Nervous. That was like when I was a kid. And it would be like only like 60, 70 people sometimes, and I would still be like shaking like fuck. I still shake sometimes. The other day I played in Orlando and there was like maybe like 70-person crowd. And this like little ass show, and I'm literally nervous as fuck. Played DC3, nervous as fuck.
Yeah.
It still happens.
It's always like as soon as after the first song, it all goes away.
Yeah, I call it first song jitters.
Yeah.
Like once you press Q and you get that first mix in, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Then you're just in.
You're just in it.
Yeah. You guys have like any routines before going on, like before playing?
Get really,
Weed.
really high.
Just real high.
Yeah, I smoke a lot of weed. I'll take like half-gram dabs sometimes. Yeah.
That's
Through your
interesting.
nose?
I can't.
Yeah. DC3 last year, I did a full gram through the nose. It was horrible.
How though? Like how that even happen?
What? The nose gram?
Yeah, it was Josh from Vegas. Remember, he
You
pulled
just
his
gotta
ring out.
have
He
it
was like,
so
"You just
high,
gotta
you
hit
just
this
gotta
sauce, a full gram of it," and it was like really high quality shit. He's like, "I'm ready to go. Here you go," and he literally was.
It's gotta be a certain type, like a skinny, what's it called, the tube. And then,
Yeah.
Nose hair's gone.
You're a trooper. I can never.
There was resin on my nose the whole time. Remember, I was like, I need an ISO wipe, and that hurt.
Yeah,
It was not fun. It's like raw flesh. Jeez. Dabs are very bad. Don't do it to your nose.
Oh yeah.
Don't do it through your nose, but do it.
Do it normally and follow the like.
Normal dabs.
Follow the actual like prescription like information on the thing, because when you buy weed in other states you don't get that. Buy in Florida, it's just a Ziploc bag. Here's your top shelf, sir.
Pretty much. Like, our top shelf is like your mids of your mids, pretty much.
Do you guys
That's
have
our top shelf.
Do you guys have medical out there?
I mean, we do,
It's
but it's like
started.
it's more
It's
CBD dominant and like no THC, so it's like not good stuff out there. And you gotta
Taxed.
have like dying cancer just to get a card out there right
And
now.
it's taxed.
Yeah,
It is taxed.
it's pretty hard. But I mean, weed gets you high.
Yeah. Yeah, but coming here, it's definitely.
Oh, the cleanness difference. Yeah, no doubt.
I will be on that, brother.
Yes. Here, stay down for you.
What do you guys think about like the weed culture specifically with music?
Honestly, I respect the people who like, don't need weed to enjoy music, but like I find it, and I'm sure it's similar with everybody else who smokes it, is when you smoke it, you get happier and the music sounds better, and it's just something you get addicted to that feeling. And
Back in the day, people used to look so down upon it, and now like
It's
it's
just
a lot
becoming
easier.
more and more
You can just
common.
walk around, smoke a joint, smoke a blunt.
my
Back in the
dream
day,
is
you would do
for
that,
like
you get like looked at weird.
weed to be the next cigarettes, like cigarettes to like go away,
Yeah,
and
for
then
real.
just weed to be common.
But even can you like smoke a blunt on the streets like back at home?
Only like, well, not in Orlando.
Yeah.
Like down in Miami, it's like we call it like another country. It really is like another country down in Miami. But like down in South Beach, you can literally just walk up and down the street and just smoke a blunt.
mean,
The cops will look at you and just wave. They really don't
like
care
you
down
can
there.
smoke around and just like don't be kind of like an asshole
Yeah,
about
Exactly.
it. What's up, brother? Arrest me! Like, don't do that. But like, if you're like low key about it, they won't give a shit. Unless they're really trying to be a bitch and you're like, "Sir, I need to meet my quota." then yeah, don't do that. Especially in Orlando at night, it's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, he lives in like you pull out his neighborhood. There's like 40 cops. It's like the worst area.
Yeah, I heard like cops in Miami are just, or like in general
Florida
just hot.
suck. It's just
Yeah, anywhere outside of
Bad.
Miami, all Florida's hot pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just Miami.
no pun intended. Why'd you give me this in a life?
You guys got like gators?
Can I borrow that legacy?
Okay, so the first time I moved from New York, so the last day I was in New York, I saw a fucking rat come up to my foot and I kicked it. The next like 2 days, I get to Florida, I get to the house. Oh, cool. There's like a lake in the front. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. I remember I was like, maybe like 17 years old. I walked out and I see this fucking thing just crawling, and I'm like, no way, that's real. And it hissed, and I freaked the fuck out and ran so fast in my house. I was like, no, I'm not dealing with this shit. Called my mom. I was like, no, I'm moving back home.
Yeah. Definitely not in New York anymore.
Nah. I remember I was like, oh, cool. We're like next to farms and shit. I saw a bunch of cows, and then I saw a fucking gator. And there's a place like 10 minutes from my house called Gatorland. It's fucking gators hanging out. You pay like what is it, like $50 at Gatorland? Go to Gatorland.
You have to pay to get in?
Yeah. I mean, you could always go to the swamp and like try your luck, but these like you could feed them too. It's weird.
Oh, the Muscovy ducks.
No, like fucking Gatorland.
Or Gatorland.
You could
Oh,
feed the
the-
gators.
Like Holiday Park, pretty much like the little kid. Yeah.
It's weird.
And Everglades and Gators it's something else in Florida. It's like giant dinosaurs, pretty much. Little gators.
I've never heard a dinosaur ever fucking hiss.
How big do they get? Like 15 feet?
I mean,
Big.
I've
big.
heard them get up to like, I think 18, 20 feet, like really big ones. But normally they're only like 6, 8 feet. You don't see.
You don't see the
Giant.
big ones?
Bigger than me, so.
Dude, they're out here like snatching kids though. Like gators are snatching
It's
kids.
not as
everywhere.
common as you think. It's happening. though.
Snatching kids.
Yeah, that's-
One time it happened on the news.
No, it's definitely happened like a lot more.
There's a
than
bunch of
one
weird
time.
shit in Florida. Shamu killed someone. A gator killed someone.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this. This was a wild ass story. This guy in my neighborhood, I remember like 3 houses away from me. He called his wife and told her that like, oh, I'm not coming back. I'm fishing. He kind of like faked his own death and said he was like eaten by a gator. Like people were assuming that because like he threw all his clothes in the like swamp. Come later to find out he just had an affair and he was like trying to tip this other lady and then she was on the news.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It was like 3 houses away from me. I was like, this is some weird ass shit to see on the news. Florida.
Florida,
Yeah, Florida we have the worst headlines in the news.
Bath salts.
yeah. Yeah, it's always
Zombie
Florida,
man.
man. Like,
Florida's just the wild people.
yeah, the bath salts incident.
You guys got a little
Flocka.
pump.
Flocka.
Yeah, for real. Just
We
a lot
got
of
more
drugs down
things
there
than
in
just
general.
like. There's more things than just Little Pump. There's Kid Boo.
We have people who
Pop
think
up
they're
hurt
clones.
like my back hurt. There's some ignorant.
Yeah,
fucking
Kid Boo, clone.
Yeah, I'm trying to sample
clone.
that. Like as my intro one day. Like I'm actually from Clonade. I'm really from Toronto, but I'm now in South Miami.
Yeah, well, all the clones are in Miami. Gucci, Kodak's clone now.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Fat Kodak.
Kodak, yeah.
All
Skinny Wop.
all I care about though, 2020. Schmurda's out.
Oh my god, no more
Bobby
Xbox.
Schmurda's out. No more Xbox Mike talking. Bobby McSchmurda dance.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's cool. He's
Bars.
still relevant.
Yeah,
He puts out
like,
2 big songs and he's still relevant.
yeah,
Bobby
for real.
Schmurda dance.
He kind of like started the whole like dance wave.
I'm trying to throw my hat and never find it ever again. It never comes back. It's gonna come back in 2020.
Oh.
New video is just
Just
gonna
lands
bonk
on his
around his
head.
head.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what kind of hip hop do you guys listen to?
I listen to
more into it.
everything.
I'm like picky with it. I listen to like Ramirez, Suicide Boys, Puya, and he listens to just like everybody. He's more his.
I'll listen to
influence is
that. I listen to a lot of Suicide Boys and like G59, MF Doom. Madlib, like a lot of like Stone Throws records. That's really sick. What else is like Jay Dilla and all Wu Tang shit is cool. Listen to that a lot. Dilated Peoples, that's kind of like a more LA thing. Not many people knew that on the East. Evidence, Alchemist, the dude with the afro, I forgot his name, DJ Babu. That was a cool thing. And some like Cut Chemist and shit like that. So, anything. I'll listen to Young Dolph and Gucci and get ignorant, and then I'll get spiritual with Flatbush Zombies. I'm gonna go open my third eye, sir. They have such fire ass music though. Flatbush Zombies is so good. I've seen them live too. I was like, it was actually with COD at Red Hook Park in Brooklyn. It was a free show with Joey Badass and the Pro Hera crew. Free show in the middle of the park with a totally blown out system. They're screaming on the mic. Sounds like it's like an 8-bit compression. Like, that's big crusher on the shit. It was great.
Like last year I went to Coachella and Travis Scott was headlining and there was no low his whole set. It's just auto-tune.
Okeechobee was a great time. Okeechobee and Travis Scott was a great time. I was like a little kid in a candy store. I was running around. Puya during Puya's set, mosh pit every second.
20, the whole set.
Those shows are so crazy.
Like he brought out Fat Nick and Shakewell. Is Shakewell? Yeah.
Yeah, he brought out Shakewell too.
Wait, when was this?
We're at
Okeechobee
Okeechobee.
Festival.
Where's that at?
We just
Okeechobee, Florida. It's like
right by him.
a random ass farm town, and then there's this big ass festival ground there, and it's pretty much like bass music and live music. Like fucking Arcade Fire played. I was trying to see.
They had
that.
to
I had
cancel
a
next year because I don't know if you saw the Bass Nectar in Mexico. The whole like he's doing the Bass Center in Mexico. All their lineup is all of Okeechobee, so they were like,
oh really?
We can't do anything this
Don't
year.
you talk about Lauren like that.
Oh, Lauren's a big guy.
That fan base is wild.
Yeah.
Bass Nectar fan base is wild.
Have you either of you played at a festival?
Yeah,
we played
just,
Okeechobee as like a rogue set in like a campground, and like 300 kids showed up.
like in the middle of
4 a.m.
It wasn't like an official sound camp, it was more like what's it called?
It was just some kids' campground.
Yeah,
We called it a rogue
Renegade,
set.
yeah.
Renegade, so that's what it's called. But then we just played
Renegade or
Lost
Lost.
Lands the other week. That was really fun.
Los Angeles was probably the gnarliest crowd I've ever played.
Yeah.
Paris was probably one of my biggest crowds, and
It
then
was.
they told me it was like 7,000 kids at the sound camp, and I thought it was like maybe 3,000 kids. I was like, yeah, holy shit, it's big.
Yeah.
Told that, I was like, holy fuck, that's a lot of people.
And it was just so much fun too. Like our set for that, it synced. We had nonstop, the transition just flowed after flowed, and it was the funnest set that we played so far.
Do those bigger crowds feel different?
Oh yeah, you just get their energy, and I feel like you just feel it and it connects. But
Yes and no, because like, say if like I played some big shows where the crowds are huge, but they're like it's like a crowd that's like there for everything, and then you'll play like they're kind of with it, they enjoy it, but then you'll play like some places like I played some shows that are like only 80 kids tops in there, and that's one of the wildest shows you'll ever play. Like
Yeah, 'cause
kids are
all 80
grabbing on the
all 80
shit.
people are just going wild.
When I first played LA at Union in like the downstairs place, I remember the table almost fell like 7 times because kids were like throwing themselves, moshing, holding CJ, holding the table and chopping. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, rail breakers are out there.
the best will always be Basement 578.
Oh
Those
my
sets were
God.
always the best. It was like literally this small little closet
Little
room in the
Orlando
side
show.
of like how many kids? Like 75 max you could fit in there.
You can probably feel like 100 kids if you really tried.
But it's awesome. Like, it's like a
Probably.
small little booth. Everybody's hanging over. It's like a little round booth. It's awesome. Everybody's in your face. Like those are the best vibes. Like see
That
everybody.
shit was fun. So, yes and no. Because there's some big crowds, like Lost Lands, I've never seen a crowd go like that. They were more energetic to the point where I was like, oh shit, I better pump myself up.
3 in the morning to 4 a.m. They were nonstop. I was impressed. They had energy for that late.
It's like Paris. When I played there, we played, it was raining me and COD from 4 to 6 a.m. And we're like, holy shit, no one's going to be there. And there was more people there, and I was like, holy shit, yeah.
Europe, you're like, it's super late.
Europe has an
everything, yeah.
awesome scene. And we also played Montpellier. down South France. That was cool. It was like 250 kids, Spaghetti, Oliver, me, Uranga, and Cod, and like a local. Oh, and Graphite played. And that shit, like 250 kids were there, and that was like rowdy as a motherfucker. Like, we were here, and they were maybe like an arm's distance away, like totally close to the stage. That was fun as hell.
Where else have you played like internationally?
Australia and Canada. Australia's awesome. Like, that's like, I played a little show in Melbourne, and that's actually really trippy. Like, you go to Melbourne, I'm like, okay, it's like a normal city. It's like New York City in Australia. It's wild, and it's cold as shit. For some reason, I don't know why I went there. It was freezing, and everywhere else was like super hot. I went there. I played this little club. 60 kids were there, and it was like one of the coolest fucking places I ever played. And they're handing out like free chicken nuggets the whole time.
What part of Australia was it?
Melbourne.
Oh shit.
Where'd you go in Canada?
I played Montreal, and I've played Toronto a couple years ago. Toronto was fun. That was the first time I ever met Walter Wild, and that was like a little ass place too. It was like 250 kids tops. There was maybe like 200 kids there. That was pretty cool. And Toronto actually goes really hard, but it's so wild. Like, Toronto's only a 2-hour plane ride. You go to Montreal, 2-hour plane ride. French as fuck. And in Toronto, it is not French as fuck. It's just like English.
Montreal crowd is something special. They're insane out there. Like, they're the same as like Europe. They go nonstop till they kick everybody out pretty much.
Really? Yeah, I've heard good things about the just Canada scene in general.
The scene in general, one thing I love too, the companies out there, nobody competes with shows. Like, they literally promote everybody's shows together out there. Like, it's a really like working together, loving the scene out there, and everybody's killing it. Like, everybody's just like moving forward out there. Nobody's like struggling with the company or anything like that. And that's what I feel like everybody out here should start picking up on, because everybody out here is like wants to do better than the other company.
Yeah, for sure.
Very competitive.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in particular you guys want to let people know about?
Check out my SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Keep my SoundCloud, fam. Symbiotic Dubstep, or you can just type in Sewer Sessions on SoundCloud and you'll totally find it. There's going to be a lot of music coming out. He's going to be coming with some music soon. I got, like I said, a shit ton of music coming out. And I got a few collabs. I got one with Blunts and Blondes. I got a Crowell collab. So,
My Blunts and Blondes ones is so good.
yeah. Blunts and Blondes is a cool ass dude.
All right, where can people find you on social media?
I am
just intro.
Symbiotic on Instagram, Symbiotic Dub on Twitter. Type in Sewer Sessions on SoundCloud, and Facebook is I am Symbiotic on Facebook.
SoundCloud, Rampage Dubstep. Instagram, Twitter is Rampage Dubs with a Z, and Facebook is Rampage Dubstep. 2 words. That's the best places to find me.
Sweet.
This
All
was
Appreciate
Sewer
you guys.
Sessions,
Yeah.
Rampage, Symbiotic,
Thank you guys.
missing
Thanks
Ringa,
for the
but
pleasure.
Appreciate you guys.
God,
having
it's
me.
always the
Always
shit.
a pleasure.
I'm not used to that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, back home, like, it's like a culture thing too. Everywhere else, we
I like going
dab
to
and
the
a hug
shit.
out there. Everywhere else, it's a dab and a fist bump.
Yeah, here's just a fist bump.
Like, we feel bad. Like, everybody's awkward standing there. Like, oh shit, my bad. Gotcha. Oh, stop. And then this thing, he does this
Yeah, I
shit
do
all
that
the
a
time.
lot. Fuck kids.
I'm so global with that. I can't never look at it. It's impossible. But thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
It's been a
thanks for
pleasure.
being
Thanks.
Sweet.
Pleasure.
Cool. All right. I got a piss.
I feel so much.